I'm Cathy Thomas, named the 2019 Rising Star Chef at the Golden Foodies. Joining us is ADYA's executive chef owner, Shachi Mehra. Today, she will showcase her stunning take on shrimp curry, cooked in young coconuts. Just the thought of it makes me hungry. Fresh coconut are so delicious.
They really are. I love fresh coconuts. They're all over India. We usually eat, fresh on the streets. You crack them open, you drink the juice, you eat the soft coconut meat. It's a real treat. And today we're actually gonna make a shrimp curry that we're gonna cook inside the coconuts.
How fabulous.
We're gonna saute just a little bit of diced onion, minced garlic, and minced ginger. And we're gonna let that get a little bit of color, and that's gonna become the base for our curry. I am gonna add a little pinch of salt here, and what that's gonna do is help the onions break down and release some of the liquid. And I'm a big believer in season as you go.
Right. It looks beautifully caramelized.
So we've got great color, it smells great. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and let it cool for a little bit.
Okay.
And while that's cooling, we're gonna get cracking on our coconuts.
Okay.
You wanna cut all this husk off because you need to get to the actual coconut that's under there. You wanna go all the way around and get as close as you can to the brown part. And we're gonna just use the bottom angle of the knife, just the bottom corner. Sometimes this is more graceful and other times it's not.
All coconuts are not created equally.
Correct. It's less scary than it looks. And once you've cracked a coconut or two, then you're in business.
And I have to tell you, I've never done it this way. This is really a cool way to do it.
I've never done it any other way.
All right. I see some liquid coming out. We're getting there. Look at that.
Open.
Beautiful.
So you want to save the lid because we need that. And we're going to pour out the water. And if we're lucky, it has a lot and we get to drink some.
Look at that. Beautiful.
We're also going to scoop out about half of the young coconut meat that's in there.
And it's almost like pudding, isn't it? It's so delicious.
So good. We've got the coconut meat with the onion mixture, and we're gonna add turmeric, mustard, and a little bit of serrano. If you want to get the heat out, to get not just the seeds, contrary to popular belief, but the seeds and the membrane.
Right.
And we're gonna put all of this stuff in our blender. And this is definitely one of the easiest curries to make, but the presentation is so dramatic and so gorgeous. So we've got our coconut meat, turmeric powder, which is actually really, really good for you. A little bit of mustard powder.
Carefully measured.
And our onion mixture. We're gonna add just enough of this coconut water to make a fine puree, like a paste. That looks great. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to season it, and I'm gonna have you taste it.
Oh, I was hoping you'd do that. It's really good.
Do we need to add salt?
And it's perfectly spiced to suit my likes.
That's great. We're gonna add our shrimp into our base. And then all of this is gonna go back inside our coconut.
It's gonna be a beautiful presentation, Joe.
It is, and the flavors are really light, but really tasty because of the fresh coconut water and the fresh coconut meat. They have such a unique flavor.
And what could I substitute for the shrimp?
You could do vegetables if you wanted. I would probably, if you're gonna use something harder like a squash, maybe par cook them a little bit. Now you wanna add the rest of the sauce. but you want to have about a half an inch to an inch from the top left, so that when we seal it and it steams in the oven, it's got some room. The way we're gonna seal it, we're gonna make a dough with just plain AP flour and water.
So if everything is cool when it goes into the coconut, and you finish it off by sealing it, can you put it in the fridge and then finish it off in the oven?
You can put it in the fridge the night before. I would cover it so your dough doesn't dry up, wrap it with plastic, and let it sit out for maybe about 10, 15 minutes before you put it in the oven. Because then it'll need a little bit extra time to heat up before it starts cooking.
Right. Cool. You put this into an oven 400 degrees, 425?
425. If you have a convection with the fan, it'll take about 20 to 25 minutes. If you don't, it'll take about 40 minutes. What you're looking for is for the dough to get golden brown. The coconut will be a little bit darker shade as well. And then when you're ready to serve, make sure they're warm, and you're gonna pop open the lid. And each person gets their own coconut. It's pretty magical.
Here it is out of the oven.
Here it is. It's gonna be warm, so be careful when you're opening it. And the fun part about this is getting your guests to do this at the table.
Look at
There
that.
it is.
And the aroma is wonderful.
So good.
Thank you, Chef. May I propose a toast?
Absolutely.
We've got the coconut water here.
Cheers.
Happiness. Here's a quick tip from Melissa's. Whether brought to a picnic or served on a holiday buffet, this green bean salad is scrumptious, and it's adapted from an early Julia Child cookbook. Start by bringing a large pot of salted water to a boil, either in a Dutch oven or a large saucepan. Okay, in go the beans. You want to cook the green beans off ahead of time. So I usually set a timer for 8 minutes. Meantime, let's get the vinaigrette going and the red onions. I've got a little salt in this bowl. I want to use my microplane to get off about half of the zest of a lemon. I'm using a Meyer lemon today. And then I want about a tablespoon of juice. I want about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And look, my jar's almost empty. So what I'm gonna do is just make a vinaigrette right in here, put it in my refrigerator for later. So oil and vinegar go in here and some nice spices and salt and pepper into the fridge. We want to add a small garlic clove that's finely minced. In it goes. I'm just gonna mix that together, make sure that my salt is dissolved. Extra virgin olive oil. Nice and fruity. Drizzle it in. Red onion. Now I think in Julia's day, red onions were much smaller than they are now. She called for 2 thinly sliced. And I'm just going to use 1 because I think that's just about right. Now these would get tossed like this and covered and put in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. Once the beans are cooled, I just wrap them in a clean kitchen towel and put them in the fridge for up to 2 days. Here are the beans that I did earlier, and they are nice and chilled and perfectly cooked, and I'm going to give them a good toss. So now I've got some mixed baby greens. Julia used watercress. And on they go. Right on top. These are mixed varieties of cherry tomatoes. And now the vinaigrette over the top to make those tomatoes taste delicious. A little kosher salt on the top. And some freshly ground black pepper. The best green bean salad you can imagine. The produce aisles are filled with so many delicious choices. Try something new, have an adventure.